Hey everybody, hope you all are doing well and welcome back to Michael's Matters. And as we have been doing, we have been really talking about what kinds of changes are coming up for next year, that's 2024, that could affect those folks who are retired and are currently will be receiving Social Security benefits next year. So that could be Social Security Retirement, which is, of course, going to be the majority, but also Social Security Disability SSDI, Supplemental Security Incomes SSI, as well as the other SSA variants, so spousal benefits, survivor benefits, really all the other iterations of the program. But the one I want to talk about today is actually going to be for those folks who retired early and who are still working. So they're getting Social Security benefits and are working, and kind of crunch some of those numbers and look at what potentially could be the most beneficial working solution so you get the most out of your Social Security and the most out of your work without getting too much taken away for someone who is retired. Now, this is Michael's Matters, and before we get to it, if you like these videos, if you find them interesting, if you find them helpful, or hey, if you at least find them useful, please don't forget to like and subscribe, because it really does help the channel grow, and we are so thankful for that. But also, it means you can get updates when our newest and most informative videos become available. All right, now, let's get down to the video. So let's start off by talking about the basics for folks who are working and who are getting Social Security benefits, because although the reasons may no longer be apparent or really as relevant as they were previously when they were put in place, for someone who has not reached their full retirement age, depending on when they were born, that can be 66 or 67 years old, if they are still working and begin taking their Social Security benefits, then they will be subject to what is called a Social Security benefit offset. That is, if they earn too much money, where Social Security will take away some of their monthly benefits if they earn too much from work. There are basically three categories of these offsets. The first is going to be for those folks who are under their full retirement age, so they are less than 66 years old or 67 years old, whenever that FRA is. So if they are under their FRA and they are still working in 2024, it means that they will be subject to an income limit. Once that amount of income is earned, for every $2 over that income, it means that Social Security will begin to offset or reduce $1 of their Social Security benefits. So it's sort of a 2 steps forward, 1 step back situation. The next level has a much higher income threshold, which is for folks who started taking their Social Security benefits before their full retirement age, their FRA, but are currently in the year in which they will be their full retirement age, meaning that if the FRA is at 66 years old, they could be 65 and basically less than 365 days until their birthday, and that would be that year until they hit their FRA. For this specific time frame, their earned income limit goes up quite a lot to $59,520, and then any income earned above that, for every $3 earned over $59,520, then $1 of benefits will be taken away by Social Security from their Social Security benefit. Now, the nice thing about this is that the earned income limit is actually much higher, obviously, but also the ratio for work money versus Social Security money gets way bigger, meaning that they can earn $3 for every $1 they lose. So you do get to keep a lot more of that money. And then the last level, off into in perpetuity, is for anybody who is at their FRA or above, at which point there is no longer any offset of benefits. So someone can work as much as they like. They can work their little buns off and not have any penalty against their Social Security benefits. So you're home free at that point. So that is the gist of how working and taking your Social Security benefits early could be affected. But let's look at some of the numbers and where those sweet spots are, where it balances out how much work you can do with how much Social Security benefits you can have, and kind of get that nice kind of happy medium. In the first example, we're going to look at the numbers play out for a person who's under their full retirement age. In fact, they are going to be in this situation 62 years old, and they are still working. We're going to look at three main numbers with regards to this situation. One is the starting amount if they work just right up to that earning limit and then take their full Social Security benefit. And we'll look at how much that total income is a year. Then we're going to look at the point where their earned income above and beyond the limit matches how much Social Security benefit they are getting. So that is going to be what I'm thinking is like the most efficient amount of work to balance out Social Security benefit with additional work benefits. And then we're going to look at the max amount of work that one could do to the point where their Social Security benefits have been offset in totality down to $0. And well, then it just would have been a better idea to not take the benefits in the first place. So for folks who are under the retirement age, just a quick reminder from 38 seconds ago. We're going to break this down into monthly amounts. First is that the income limit is at $22,320 a year in earned income, which breaks down to $1,860 a month. We also know that for every $2 over that amount, they will get $1 of their Social Security monthly benefit offset. We also know for the most recent Social Security data, albeit from 2022, that is still the most recent that we have, that the average Social Security benefit for someone who retired at the earliest age of 62 years old was $1,274 a month. In the situation where a person worked right up to their monthly limit, that $1,860 a month, and still got their full Social Security benefits, the $1,274 average, that would mean that they would have earned a total monthly income at that point of $3,135 a month. Yearly, when we multiply that out annually, that means that they would get $37,618 a year when they stopped working right at the earned income limit and took the full totality of their Social Security benefit that was available. The next level up we're going to do is at the point that would maximize the amount of work that someone could do and still keep the most amount of Social Security benefits. This point would happen at a monthly earning income at $2,708 a month, because it would mean that they are earning roughly an additional $850 from work, but they would still be retaining additional equal and opposite amount of Social Security benefit of $850. So this would mean that their monthly earned income and Social Security benefits combined come out to $3,559 a month. We multiply that out for the year. That means their total annual income would be $42,706 a year in income. It also means that as their income increases past this point, that $2,708 a month, they will start to have a larger portion of the income be generated by work rather than Social Security benefits, because it starts to tip the balance, which is, I think would be bad, essentially losing free money. This deduction of benefits would continue up to the point where their Social Security benefits zero out at $4,412 a month in earned income, because now their Social Security benefits would go down to $0. And at that point, then, it really wouldn't even have made sense to take Social Security benefits, because all of it would be offset by their income. So something to consider if you are someone who is still working, consider taking Social Security benefits, but have an income that's pretty high. So in this scenario, if someone is going to be making that $4,412 a month from earned income, that would mean that their yearly income would be at $52,944 a year, at which point, again, it probably would be worth giving a second thought whether having Social Security benefits are worth it or not. Now, lastly, for this scenario, and really kind of getting a big picture, looking at how much extra yearly somebody would actually make at each of these levels is when we can start to see the biggest difference. If somebody is right at that earned income limit, so at the very base level, and taking their full Social Security benefits, then when you put that together annually, it would mean they'd have an annual combined income of $37,618 a year. But if they earned a little bit more up to that break-even point that we talked about, the most efficient one, where the work amount of income above the minimum limit and the Social Security amount equal out, at that point, they would be making a total of $42,706 a year, or an additional $5,088 a year in income above the person who just stopped working right at that minimum limit, which not too bad, right? And then lastly, if they worked to the point where their Social Security benefits would have been fully offset, they would be making $15,302 or more than if they had just stopped at the earned income limit and took their full Social Security benefits. So it does make a big difference. I'm sure it probably stings a little bit every time they take some of that money away, but it does make a difference if you work and you continue to work, and even if your Social Security benefits get offset, you can still make some considerably more money a year, and especially if you need it to live. So that's one thing to consider. That is a scenario for someone who is under their full retirement age. Now let's look at a similar example played out for somebody who is within their year in which they will hit their full retirement age. These numbers do look a little bit different, first because the earned income limit is much, much higher. In fact, it's at $56,520 a year worth of earned income, or monthly. That'll break down to $4,960 a month that can be earned. Also remember that offset ratio is much higher as well. At $3 of income from work, that can be had before Social Security removes $1 from Social Security benefits. And then lastly, the average Social Security benefit for someone who is at 65 years old and some days, well, they are going to have a little bit higher Social Security benefit according to Social Security, and their benefits on average monthly are at $1,504, at least as of December 2022. With that information, we know that if a person just works right up to the income limits, they can earn a total of $4,960 from work monthly and still keep their full $1,504 worth of Social Security benefits, which puts their monthly income in total to $6,465 a month. Multiply that out for a year, comes to $77,579 a year in income. We look similarly at the break-even point where the earned income is above the limit and matches with the amount of Social Security benefit that is left over after it has been offset. That amount actually happens at $6,085 a month. At this point, the amount of earned income over the limit and the amount of Social Security benefits left over are both at $1,128 a month. So we put all that stuff together, it would mean that that person would get $7,215 a month in total income, or yearly that gets multiplied out to $86,579 a year. And then lastly, when we look at someone who is in the year of their FRA and they are working to the point that their income is so high that all of their Social Security benefits have been offset, even at a 3-to-1 ratio, that income happens at $9,472 a month. And yearly, that would mean they'd be making $113,664 a year in earned income. So looking at these numbers, again, we can see where the additional advantage, and by additional advantage, I mean where the additional money would be at each of these levels. So if someone stopped right at the earned income limit, they'd be getting $77,579 a year in income. That's working income and Social Security put together. If they stopped at the break-even point, they would be making $86,579 a year, or $9,000 more. And then if they get to that point where their benefits are completely eaten up or offset even at the 3-to-1 by having a much higher monthly income or yearly income, their yearly income would be at $113,664 a year, which is $36,084 more than if they had stopped right when they at the earned income limit and took their full Social Security benefits. So, I mean, those are some pretty drastic numbers. Yes, for folks who are under the FRA, that's a difference of $5,000, $8,000. But when we start getting to those folks who are in that year in which they are going to be in their FRA and the numbers get much bigger, I mean, it's definitely give a second of thought of maybe working a couple more hours, even if you're going to lose a couple of Social Security benefits. But of course, I'll leave that up to you. Lastly, ultimately, looking at the numbers, I guess it's really interesting because I have not done this before, to look at how it plays out when you start looking at what are the cost benefits of working more while receiving Social Security benefits and being under their full retirement age. The reality, of course, is going to be that most people are not at a point in their income where their Social Security benefits are going to be fully offset. Otherwise, I mean, they likely would not have even retired and started taking Social Security benefits because there's really no benefit. But it is at those break-even points that seem to make the most sense if someone is solving the retirement Social Security work income problem to maximize income for the least amount of work and to maintain the most amount of Social Security benefits. Because whether it is for those folks who are under the FRA or at the FRA, when they get to that break-even points, it adds up to a fair amount of money, $5,000, $10,000, a lot more money. And that sweet spot can mean, more dollars in your pocket and still keeping more of your Social Security benefit. So I thought that it'd be interesting to kind of play this out and remember the numbers are going to be a little bit different for everybody else. We're taking averages, and again, nobody is average. A lot of times a few people are above average, and then many people are below average, and it all works out to that average. So if you know your specific amount, you can apply the same kind of logic to it. But again, this was just to kind of give you an idea of, does it make sense to continue to work and take Social Security, even if you're going to lose a little bit? And I think in this case, sort of kind of does. But obviously, look at your own situation. All right, now, this has been Michael's Matters, and I really hope that you found this video interesting or helpful or at least useful. And if you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe, because it really does help the channel to grow, and we are so thankful for that. But also because you get updates when our newest and most informative videos become available. So for Michael's Matters, I'm Michael, hoping that you take care of yourself, take care of others, and have a happy, healthy day.